Hi, Cancer Sun and Rising. Welcome to your January 2024 Astro Update. It's Raina here, and I've been doing these January forecasts, and it's like it blows my mind how much Capricorn energy is happening, even though, it's really a no brainer that in January there would be some of it, but it's some of the transits, for instance, sometimes you have a new moon in Capricorn that's in December. It's not in January. And in this case, we have Pluto still in Capricorn for several weeks. And Pluto is a heavy hitter. It has been in that seventh house for you for, a decade and a half, and you had a brief flirtation with it leaving that area. Of course, it certainly wasn't going into a place that was light any lighter, being in the eighth house. That's the house that it rules in astrology, but still, it was, easing up on that marital sector. And you're going to have a nut, even though it's going, Pluto is going back into the eighth house on the 20th. You're going to have it go back into Capricorn later in 2024. So it's not completely disappearing. And of course, your chart will determine when exactly it comes and goes. So this is just a general forecast, anyhow. But yeah, a lot of stuff happening. And of course, last year, Mars was not anywhere near Capricorn. It was in Gemini, and it was going direct in Gemini. So here we have Mars going into Capricorn. So this is kind of significant for you in that sense, because you haven't had Mars here for a while. But let's start at the beginning of the month. Mercury goes direct at 22 degrees of Sagittarius on the 1st. So this is in the 6th house of work and just kind of like your schedules and stuff like that, your health. So anything that is communication related that has to do with that Mercury went retrograde in Capricorn too back on December 13th. So that could have some kind of a work connection that has to do with a legal matter or whatever the equivalent is, like a corporate situation, mediation and things like that, where something is being resolved. It could be anything from salary disputes or other concerns that if you're bringing it to somebody who's supposed to be impartial, and so there could be some resolution of that on the 1st of the month. And then on the 4th, Mars goes into Capricorn. It goes into that 7th house. Now the 7th house is the house of marriage, and you could say the house of divorce, because it is the house of legal matters. So Mars can be a legal battle, and it could have a connection with marriage, because we also have Pluto here. Pluto and Mars are the rulers of Scorpio, and Scorpio is the ruler of the 8th house. So Mars and Pluto are the rulers of that house, and the 8th house is other people's money. So sometimes marriage and other people's money are directly connected, and sometimes there's fighting about other, shared resources. But this could heat something up because Pluto is here, and Pluto can be power struggles too. So that could just really heat things up. Suffice it to say that maybe, I don't know if I would say a lot of Cancers maybe, a fairly significant number of you have experienced changes in your primary relationship. I don't know. I know personally of one, but I can't say across the board. But even those people who have stuck it out, maybe this last Pluto retrograde was the coup de grace. I don't know. So, just, I think that this is something that you would anticipate. This is not something that is surprising, because this is coming right after the new year. This is coming right after Mercury goes direct. And Mercury did go retrograde in that seventh house. So there might have been something that was negotiating, maybe some kind of a contract that was not quite right, that two parties have to settle on. So just keep that in mind on the 4th, that is happening. On the 11th, we have a new moon here. And new moons, we usually think of a new, breathing new life into something in some cases, which it certainly can be that. But it could also be that the new life is the ending of that relationship. Again, this is only going to be for those people that or know that their relationship is hanging by a thread, or that they are going to end it. They just haven't decided how it's going to end. And this could be, with Mars there, could heat things up. And remember, too, that in some cases, a Cancer person may want to get divorced, but they have those claws of the crab that want to hold on to things, that have that sentimental feeling that holds on to things long after they have, been over. Another more positive way to look at these transits is that Mars going into Capricorn can breathe new life into a relationship and make you more active. If you have been, two ships passing in the night and you haven't had time for each other, you could, be doing things together. Mars can be sexy. It could, that could be heating up the physical side of the relationship. And then the new moon just kind of shows that as well. And then on the 13th, Mercury goes back into Capricorn. So Mercury is in that sector as well. This is what I'm saying, is that there is so much going on. Now, that could even be like if somebody's planning a wedding, because this is the house of commitment. Mercury retrograding could be that, you're trying to, schedule a wedding, plan a wedding, and you were thinking about your work schedule and how you're going to, go on a honeymoon and all of that. So it could be something along those lines. On the 20th, both the Sun and Pluto go into Aquarius. I see that as very significant. And I was listening to another astrologer also noting that as well and saying, wow, that's pretty wild. Pluto, is a 15, in this case, 20-year cycle in Aquarius, but the Sun, to do it on the same day, it just almost seems like it's our destiny as a collective, what we want to become, which with Aquarius is free loving individuals, not having to conform to some, arbitrary standard or something like that. So anyway, for you, this is the 8th house. And Pluto is, going into the 8th house. Now, I was kind of alluding to that and almost joking about it, because the eighth house can be like the shadow self. And, Pluto rules this area under the sign of Scorpio with Mars. And Pluto is really that kind of psychological excavation. I was going to say exploration, but really it's excavation. And, diving deep into that, the psyche and motivations, psychological motivations, it can be very helpful. I mean, you might even go into therapy. And if some people are getting divorced, that might be exactly what they feel is the appropriate next step, is to kind of integrate their experiences into like some kind of understanding of what happened, why it happened, and how they can move forward or something along those lines. But the eighth house is also shared resources, and Pluto can be wealth. So there could be something, and death is also associated with the eighth house, and I would say Pluto too. So actually we would say transformation, but with money and death, that's inheritance. So that could, in some cases, be in play, or a significant thing, and maybe even that is transformative, because if somebody, let's say they inherit a lot of money, and that all of a sudden their whole life changes because of it. On the 20, but this is a water house because it's Scorpio, so this is going to be on an inner level, this transformation, I would say, for the most part, also through metaphysical pursuits, shamanism, metaphysics, astrology, tarot, those kinds of things. On the 23rd, Venus goes into Capricorn. So Venus goes into that 7th house. Well, that's good because Mars is there. And that is more of a harmonizing effect. So that can be something positive. If you're planning a wedding, Venus here can be great. There's going to be maybe harmony between you and your partner about making plans. You're going to be on the same page, and things may run more smoothly. This can be money through some kind of a legal decision that you receive. On the 25th, we have a full moon at 5 degrees of Leo. Leo is the sign after you, so this is the second house of earned income, and this could be money too. This could be this could be like a raise. So again, if you were in arbitration for salary dispute, at the end of the month, you could see your check increase. Or maybe it was some kind of disputed bonus. Maybe you didn't get your Christmas bonus and you're getting it a month later. Or some kind of what are they? I always forget the name of that. Commission. Usually people get commissions if they work in sales. Like if you're a real estate agent, and you get that commission later on. So some kind of boost to your income, perhaps. For some, it could be ending an income if you are. But I have a feeling, since you have, any kind of arbitration or something, it might be directly from that, a result of that. On the 27th, Uranus turns direct at 19 degrees of Taurus, and that is falling in your 11th house. This is the house that Uranus rules in astrology. This is a house of the collective, and you, some Cancer people may have seen, maybe hanging around some real pieces of work lately. I don't know, because this can be the people that you associate with socially, and they may be wackadoodles, but I mean, you might have gotten a special crop of them lately that when Uranus was retrograding that were really out there. But actually, because Uranus is one of those planets that when it retrogrades, it's just like doubling down on the weirdness factor, and also the what do you call it, the erratic factor. But in general, this will bring new people into your life that will, there may be some connection with, star seeds, galactic information, or groups. I mean, I'm talking about like joining groups that are very like offbeat, but even like communal living. Cancer rules the house of home and family, but you may get attracted to this idea of um, having a more what I would call non-traditional type of association with others that is more nonconformist, and that rubs off on you, and maybe even you want to take it to that level. I don't know, but yeah. So that's happening as well. So that's what I have for you, Cancer. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm promoting my double readings called Deep Dive Readings, which are package deals because I offer these readings separately, but they're less expensive as a package deal. An hour of natal chart analysis, an hour of transits for a special price, and I have also other types of readings like tarot readings, career readings, which are life path as well, love readings. You can find out more information at the link below. I'm at RainaMoonAstrology.com. Thank you for listening. Bye.